And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the OlimoLeague 2024 November Finals, a monthly event kind of bringing together the best players of this month's journey of OlimoLeague finalists here. And we are here in the grand finals as well. We have a ZvZ before you. We have a best of 7, and spawning in the top or in the bottom left-hand corner of ley lines, we have the South Korean Zerg player, the blue Zerg representing Gaiman Gladiators. It is SHIN. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Zerg player, the red Zerg, representing Talent Esports. It is Dark. Here we go again. It has been a very intense, very long event here. It's been, what, already 5 hours, 5-hour cast, and we are merely only beginning the best of 7 finals, so more StarCraft to come, of course. And as I was mentioning before, we have seen these two face off recently. It was last weekend where they played in the StarCraft Evolution League. That is a mod in SE2 that brings together StarCraft and Brood War in SE2, and these two faced off in the quarterfinals of that tournament in a best of 5. It was a very fun series between the two of them. I do recommend watching those VODs. We were able to experience Guardians versus Hydra Lurker Viper. We got to experience 12 pool versus 13-12. Like in the next game, it was wild, it was crazy, it was beautiful. And now we'll see if we can replicate the entertainment and the tenacity that they had in that previous week, in that previous event. Oh boy, we'll see. We shall see. Now, historically, Dark has been the favorite player against SHIN when it comes to these ZvZs, but SHIN by no means is a slouch. He can take maps, he can take series, is going to be a bit of an underdog in this series, but I want to believe he can bring it to it. Let's go. For now, Hatch Gas Pool. Hatch Gas Pool standard ribbon out of SHIN, likewise standard ribbon out of Dark as well. So far, we are keeping up with each other, but it's all about keeping an eye on the gases, keeping an eye on the build of choice, just because neither player is really willing, or both players are willing to be chaotic, to be crazy, to go into 2-base play, to go for a Link Flood, to cut workers and go for a Roach all-in. Typically, these two, is very rare to see a standard ZvZ, like Ling Bane into Roach Ravager. I don't really expect to see that. Maybe once, maybe one time in this series, but not more than that. That's not what we're here for. Let's go. As we do see Dark taking his third, SHIN should be doing the same. Third base is being taken. SHIN moving out as well. Third base also on the way for both our red and blue Zerg players. We are settling in. Trees are on the way. Likewise at Bailey Nest as well. So far, everything is looking standard, as standard can be. Third base into Bailey Nest, into Ling Bane battles and Ling Bane wars. No one is cutting corners, no one is playing 2-base Roach, no one is skipping their Bailey Nest either. So far, so good. Did mention before that I don't expect to see standard ZvZ outside of maybe once in this series. I still stand by that. And yep, there's the answer. Roach Warren. That is a very early Roach Warren for SHIN. Before the Bailey Nest is even done, he's going for an early Roach Warren. It is hidden behind the mineral land, and he should be going for an all-in. This should be a Ling Roach all-in out of SHIN. He's going to be hyper aggressive and hyper committed, and ideally he wants to make it look like it's just Ling Bane and lure Dark into droning. And as Dark drones, then SHIN comes in with the Roach follow-up. It's a 1-2 punch, first Ling Bane, then Roach push. Meanwhile, Dark, he goes for his own Roach Warren behind the middle. Great minds think alike. Roach Warren behind the middle line. Now, this is a bit of a later Roach Warren for Dark, but because it's later, it can be used defensively. So, not badly timed whatsoever. Lings have yet to move out. You can see SHIN amassing up his Roaches. He's getting ready for his all-in, getting ready for his push. Here we go. As you can see, Roach's Lings are amassing. SHIN, he cut workers at 26. Dark droned up to 41. He's still droning. Uh-oh. Dark is still droning. Has he over-droned? As Dark needs Roach production. Is a little bit supply blocked. Overlords are on the way. Spine Coolers get thrown down. Dark, he's in a panic here. He's throwing down the spines. He's trying to get ready here for the all-in. But is it too late? Did Dark drone up too much as the Roaches, they have arrived? They're going for the third. They're going for the third base. Bailey's getting sniped. Queen goes down. Spine Caller's not going to finish. And SHIN is going for the kill. Going for the natural. Going for the natural expansion. At least trying to. Boys are being pulled. Queens are brought forward. Darky's holding. Spine Caller finishes. Spine Caller does finish, but the Wild does connect. Clutch transfuse. Very clutch transfuse here on the spine. Miles will bring it down. It's still so close. Shin, he's down to 4 roaches. 4 roaches left. Down to 3. Sorry, 4 roaches even. But they're getting picked off one after the other. And alas, Dark, he's barely holding on. It's still so close. He can pull the boys. He can't afford to lose some of them. Remember, Dark did overthrown. Miles not quite connecting. Link spotting in. There we go. Now the boys are being pulled. I feel like we could have done this sooner. Oh, the Miles. Oh my god, Miles didn't connect. Again, the Roach gets surrounded. There's 1 Ravager left. And Dark. It looks like he holds. Looks like he will hold on. The Roaches, they come in to reinforce the boys. They pulled back into the mineral line. Dark is holding. Sure, Lings are putting in for a surround, but now they're queens. There are 3 Roaches. I say that. Shin, he gets three roach kills. Not bad. Gets 3 roaches, gets a queen. Jesus. Shin's still getting a lot of value here with this. But it is barely not enough. Finally, he backs off, and now Darky gets away with a superior economy. 41 drones to the 39 workers of his opponent. Dark is ahead. Dark, he is ahead. Now, he can't really counterattack too quickly. He's building up some roaches, that is true, but I mean, we can still work towards lair tech. 4th base on the way, it's going to be denied. It's a cancel on the lair. Sorry, on the hatchery, I meant to say. And Dark is just droning. He's just droning up from here, saturating his bases, taking his gases. Again, there's no rush for Dark. He just has to calm things down and build up. Calm things down. Shinny is going to pull back home, trying to resaturate his own bases. Getting up to 49 workers. I mean, Shin is slowly recovering. But Dark, he should still have a comfortable lead here as Dark is joining up a little bit further. Lair is faster for Dark. Dark does not have... There we go. He does have an Eva Chamber for +1. Should be able to embrace those upgrades. And the game will calm down. At least until those upgrades kick in. We're waiting for Roach Speed and waiting for +1 range. We're waiting for these 2 upgrades. As Link Scout does confirm that they're on the way. Shin should know that now that he's behind when it comes to his lair timing. And Dark does have a massive worker advantage. Actually going into Aspire. I mean, both players are. Jesus. Shin and Dark, they do think alike. Both players taking into mutas. But again, Dark, he should have the better economy to sustain muta production, assuming he doesn't make too many roaches. That's the big caveat there. If he makes too many roaches, then he won't have the gas for muta production. Oh! Fanny connects. Shin being forced back. Does get us around on the Queen. Queen gets surrounded. So you're getting hunted down. And here comes the move out from Dark. Looking at this tab though, it looks like the roach count is quite even actually. Even roach count, but remember, Dark is trying to force out roaches. Meanwhile, he's going into mutas. I mean, both players are. Muta production should be here, but Dark, he supply blocked. Supply block for Dark. That is brutal. Does go for the 3rd. Gets a queen. Gets a queen and backs up. Likewise, going for the 4th base. Collapsing on the army. Pushing forward. Muta production is upon us. And Shin is being overwhelmed already. And there it is. GG gets called. The Shin is broken by the roaches, and Dark will take game number 1. GG. Does take a lead in this series. Again, just a very intense game one with Shin committing to an all-in. Alas, he did not kill his opponent. And in the aftermath of the defense, Dark was up 10 drones. He was up 10 workers. With that, he just had too much of a lead. In a mirror matchup, 10 workers doesn't sound like a lot, but in a mirror matchup, it's everything. It's everything there. And Shin just could not recover. Now we're getting into game number 2. It's going to be on Frost Lines. Frost Lines? Yeah, Frost Lines. Let's go. Be loading into Frostline here. And again, we'll see what builds Shin has ready for us this time. We shall see. Shall see as we are settling in. Players are getting ready. And as we load into Frostline, I mean, it is a much larger map, so going for something like a Roach all-in is going to be much more difficult to really embrace. Much more difficult. New to play, though. Potentially. We'll see. We'll keep an eye on our players here to see if anyone does try to embrace mutas a little bit faster, a little bit earlier. Until then, we're loading into game number 2 and spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, spawning left-hand corner of Frostline. We have the South Korean Zerg player, the Blue Zerg, down in the series, but it's the best of 7. Plenty more games ahead of us. It is SHIN. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the South Korean Zerg player, the Red Zerg, representing Talent Esports. It is Dark. Here we go. We have our ZvZ upon us. And again, Frostline is the largest map in the new map pool. When it comes to the fresh maps like Amygdala, like El Dorado, alongside Ley Lines and Ultra Love. Frostline is the largest map, and with that, we'll see how Dark and Shin do approach this. I mentioned before that because the map is so large, going for a Roach all-in can be quite difficult to pull off on this map. Can be quite difficult, but going into some hidden tech like a Spire, that could work. We'll see. We shall see. So far, pull first. Sorry, pull first. Hatch first, what I meant to say. So far, Hatch gas pulls, standard opener out of Dark, likewise standard opener out of Shin as well. Nothing too crazy, nothing too wild. There's a slight deviation in the sense that Shin, his gas is slightly faster than his opponents, but nothing crazy. Nothing too crazy at all. Nothing too notable as we do enter the early game. So far, so good. To enter the early game here. Players are building up. And they settle in. So far so good. Link speed is on the way. You can see here that Shin has pulled 1 out of gas. Likewise, Dark has not pulled out of gas. Okay, you have my attention. Already a bit of a deviation. Now, this opener by Shin tells us that he plans on going into a third base, into a Bailey nest as well. That is why he has pulled out. For Dark to not have pulled out, it tells us that he will have a little bit of extra gas to work with. Now, this can lead into an earlier Evo chamber, into an upgrade. It can lead into an earlier Roach Warren as well, which is what I'm leaning towards. We'll see. Technically, it could lead into a faster lair, true. Third base is being taken. Bailey nest on the way for Shin, and we should be seeing one from the side of Dark as well. There you go. Bailey nest is on the way. You see Shin nibbling away at the third. Dark just respond, saves the expansion. Building up his own lings. Again, does have excess gas to work with. And he's link flooding. Okay, now we have the answer. I was curious. I was like, why is he making excess gas? It's for extra bailings. Extra bailings going to be available here for Dark. Speaking of, he's fanning out his lings, and these lings typically are the lings to morph into banelings. There they are. There's 2 banelings here on the right-hand side, 2 banelings on the left, so 4 banelings in total. And the way that this works is that Dark ideally wants to distract the army here at the 3rd, and then the banelings, they waddle into the natural. Here we go, the banelings are waddling in. Darky pushes forward. First baneling up. Doesn't quite connect. Dark, he almost gets surrounded, but he does pull away in time, does pull out. At the same time, he doesn't commit into the natural. The queens are there to defend. Shin holds. Shin is holding. Dark does make his way through the army, though. Yeah, bust into the natural. Banelings are on the way. They're going for the mineral line. Okay, quick moves here out of Dark. He gets in. Massive connections. Oh, but only 3 drones. Only 3 drones go down. That could have been so much worse. Very, very clutch split there from Shin. Does pull away. Lings, they get into the mineral line, but they're only getting not even a drone. Not even 1 worker. Shin, he's holding. Meanwhile, Dark, he commits. He's still rallying in. Dark is down 10 workers. He has to do some kind of economic damage. Baneling goes off. There's 1 Baneling left. Now down to 0. This hatchery, it looks like it may just go down. Meanwhile, the rest of the Banelings, they're backing up. Dark doesn't want to waste them. The rest of the Lings, they're going for this round. They're going for the roaches. Massive connections. Roaches get surrounded, but more roaches are amassing, and it looks like Shin, he's holding on. Yeah, he forces back the Lings. He saves the base, saves the expansion. That should not have happened. Shin, he's holding. And Dark, he's running out of steam. Remember, Dark, he's on 27 drones. He has no macro behind this. He has no economy. It's all or nothing for Dark. Oh, locks down the roaches. Not bad. Gaining value. Picking up a couple of drones. Going for the hatchery. He will kill the 3rd. Not a bad start. Kills the 3rd base, but honestly, he needs more. He still needs more value here. Busting into the natural. Banelings are morphing in. Dark, he does actually come out on top of this fight. Does come out on top. Banelings, they will pop out. And what do they go for? They go for the mineral line. Ooh, one pops off. Up. Uno más. 1 more. Up. Oh my god, very quick split. Baneling into the main. 5 drone kills. GG gets called. It barely is enough. That was so close. A very close defense. Alas, Shin, he almost held on. He was holding for so long until the very end. And GG, Dark takes a 2-0 lead. Oh my god. GG, well played. Dark, he barely got one over there on Shin. But again, it was such a close defense. You saw that Dark, he was completely all in. He was losing momentum many a time in that all in as well. But he was able to kill the expansion, kill the 3rd base, surround the queens, surround the roaches, deny the banelings, get his own up and running as well. Just some very, very clutch moments scattered throughout that game. Did barely go the way of Dark. GG. GG, well played. Dark takes a further lead. But I hope that Shin doesn't feel too discouraged by that game. I hope that he looks at that game and he's like, okay, you know, it's definitely within my capacity to defeat Dark and to make a series out of this. It was so close. We'll see. As we're now loading into Whispers of Gold. We are going to be loading into Whispers. And again, the pressure is still on Shin here. Can he bounce back? I mean, he needs to soon. He's running out of lives, running out of chances. And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Whispers of Gold, we have the South Korean Zerg player, the Blue Zerg representing Gaimin Gladiators. He is down in the series. And again, he has to fight back here and now. Now is the time to start the comeback. It is Shin. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Zerg player, the Red Zerg representing Talon Esports. Leading the series 2-0. Has a pretty comfortable lead so far. Can he extend it? It is Dark. Here we go. Dark going hatch first. Likewise, so is SHIN. Hatch first all around. Whew. So we settle into our game, taking our gases. So hatch gas pool here from both Dark and SHIN. And we have yet to really embrace a standard ZvZ. As I mentioned before, I don't really expect one. I do not expect a standard game. We'll see. We'll see where this takes us. We'll see where this goes. For now, we're just happily joining up, saturating our bases, getting into eventually Baneling production into our third. I mean, Whispers of Gold is a very good map to be hyper-aggressive on, so I expect Ling Bane aggression. I expect it here. From SHIN even, from both players. We'll see. Shall see. Again, we are just taking this moment to settle in. From here, we have workers on the way, getting to our drones, getting to our saturation. I don't really expect anyone to play 2-base Roach yet. 2-base Roach is very map dependent. I can see 2-base Roach on Ultra Love, but I don't think Ultra Love is an option this week. So I can see it working on Ultra Love. I can see it working on El Dorado. I can see it working on El Dorado as well. Those are the maps I'm going to be looking forward to 2-base play. The reason why I say that is because both El Dorado and Ultra Love, they have ramps coming into the natural, and that is a unique feature that does allow 2-base play to actually be more viable and more effective. But we're not there yet. Again, as I mentioned, Ultra Love is not going to be available to either player here. El Dorado is, though. We'll get there. Baneling Nest gets thrown down for Dark. Baneling Nest on the way here for SHIN as well. So far, so good. Keeping up with each other. Keeping up. To have 3 and 3 in gas. What does that mean? That means Ling Bane aggression. Here we go. We have Lings in production here for SHIN. SHIN is going to be the first to invest into a wave of Lings. He's moving out. SHIN is spotted. He is scouted. Should cause Dark to respond this. He's droning. Oh my god! He's just droning up. He's crazy. He's just droning in response. Won't need his own defensive banelings. You know, a couple links they do slip into the natural. Oh, they barely don't get the drone. Roach runs on the way. Here for SHIN. Dark doing the same. SHIN's is faster. Lings, they hit the third. They hit the... Yeah, they do hit the third base. Going for the queen. Queen goes down. No defensive banelings. Dark, he's been cutting corners. He's been cutting baneling production. He's being punished for it. And SHIN, he has momentum. Trading well. He's forcing a big reaction, a big response here from Dark. As that is, what, 14 more links on the way. Banelings finally morphing in. Again, Dark could have done this sooner, but he chose not to. He was trying to be greedy. Trying to cut corners. Ooh, big baneling connection though. And Dark holds. Should be able to hold on at the same time. Lings, they hit the third. SHIN slightly up and works on. Oh my god, banelings, they almost connect. Almost, but not quite. Lings, they try to dive in. Ooh, massive connection. Dark with the bait. Drags the army into a baneling. Pops off. Roaches are now amassing. Again, SHIN has a slight worker advantage with 3 drones. But outside of that, we're embracing more Roach production here. Extra gas is on the way. SHIN going for a third gas. We see Dark taking up into a lair. Banelings. Oh my god, Jesus. That's so close. He's going to be trading with Banelings. Hitting 1 for 1. Roaches are revealed. And do you see what I see? I see no lair. It's an all-in. So SHIN is going for a triple gas 41 drone roach all-in. This is basically less than 2 base saturation. Less than 2 base saturation here for SHIN, just under 2 base saturation, I should emphasize. And he's going for a massive roach ling all-in. Meanwhile, Dark back at home, he's taking gases. He's droning up he's droning up too much. Too much saturation here for Dark. He doesn't know what's going on. He needs to see the lack of workers. He needs to see the lack of anything here at the third. Dark being far too greedy. And I feel like this should kill him. Like, Dark, he went up to 60 drones. No shot. There's no way to survive this. The army has arrived. It's moving out across the map. Dark trying to set up a defense. Back at home. Spine coolers are going to be necessary here to hold on. But there's no way here. No shot. It's going to be a crazy situation if Dark can somehow survive this all in. With 0 spine crawlers. Dark coming for a concave, buying time, kiting back. Leagues are coming for a surround. A lot of the roaches get locked down. Aliens are going for the mineral line. And Dark, he's caught with his pants down. Drones are going down. Too many workers here. Third base is completely forfeit. And SHIN, he should run away with this. Here we go, SHIN. He is fighting back in this series. He's not going down without a fight. Rallies more leagues. GG gets called, and SHIN puts a point on the board. GG. GG, well played. Dark, he did not rescout the third base. He did not see the lack of saturation. There was 0 mining going on to the third. And Dark, he went up to 61 drones. It was crazy how many workers Dark had built up towards. Likewise, he was taking all of his gases at his third base, getting fully saturated. And that means that Dark just could not defend. It was impossible there to defend at that point, just because it's a numbers game. In a mirror matchup where you both have the same tools, if one player drones, if the other doesn't, then the player that didn't drone has a larger army. Did overwhelm Dark. GG. GG, well played. Whew. And it will not be a 4-0. You know, Dark, he has gone undefeated so far in the tournament, going 2-0 against Clem and 3-0 against Björn, but now in the finals, he bleeds. He bleeds, papi. Let's go. Does bleed, and now we're getting ready for what comes next for game number 4. Now, there are 2 options. We got 2 options here. It's either El Dorado or Amygdala. It's up to Dark to decide. And Dark, he has opted to go for Amygdala as the next game. Okay. Amygdala is up next. That also confirms that the next map is going to be El Dorado, and then I believe the maps reset. They kind of restart in a sense, and players, they can pick from a fresh map pool after we go over all the maps once. So it is going to be Amygdala into El Dorado, and we will see it El Dorado just because we're 2-1. We're not on match points, so we will at least have 2 more games. Let's go. At least 2 more games. As you can hear the beeps, we're loading into game number 4. Let's go. And this is going to be an interesting map as well. Definitely some unique features to consider. And here we go. Spawning in the top right-hand corner of Amygdala, we have the South Korean Zerg player. We have the red Zerg representing Gaiman Gladiators down in the series, but he does already put a point on the board. And can he tie things up? It is SHIN. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have the blue Zerg player from South Korea representing Talon Esports. It is Dark. Still maintains a lead, but clearly showing that he can bleed. Clearly showing that he can be vulnerable here to SHIN, and that SHIN is not one to be taken lightly. Not at all. We go. As SHIN is going hatch gas pool, standard open out of SHIN. Likewise, Dark doing the same. So just stretching, just getting ready for what's to come. go. Don't forget to stretch. Don't forget to posture check as we continue with our series. Now, when it comes to Amygdala, of course, some of the big features is the rocks, or I guess the massive tumors that are slowly dying in the center of the map. Fun fact, if creep is spread in this direction, if they do cover these giant tumors, and the tumors, they will stop bleeding out and they will maintain themselves. Don't think that's going to be really a factor in the ZvZ though. Don't think that's really going to come to play. A lot of effort has to be put into spreading creep in ZvZ, and that's often avoided in this matchup. Meanwhile, otherwise, it is going to be standard opener. The third base is very exposed. We could see the rushes by ground is quite short as well, so link bane aggression can be favored on this map. Can be favored. I mean, aggression in general, really. Whether it was link bane or roach based, could definitely see it working quite well here. Likewise, attack paths are limited, especially early on. There's only two, really. There's only two attack paths, so it is going to be easy to position your overlords and to be ready for any kind of move outs here from the opposing player. Will make it more difficult to sneak out across the map. As Dark is taking his third, and so is Shin. Both players are expanding, both players are taking their third bases. Shin is here to attempt to delay or at least get eyes on things. Bailey Nest gets placed for Dark. We should be seeing one for Shin as well. There it is. Nest is on the way. So far, so good. Links are being active, being a nuisance. See there, those giant tumors are almost at half HP. Almost. And there it is. There is the Link Flood. 16 Lings in production for Dark. That's a lot of Lings. He's going for Link Flood. He's going for Link Bane aggression. Let's go. Let us go. Meanwhile, Shin back at home. He's making safety Lings, and he's making the safety Banelings as well. Or should soon be once the nest is done. There it is. 4 Banelings on the way. But last Dark, he does collapse on the third, and he's looking for a cancel or a kill. Hatchery under fire. Hatchery finishes. The base is going to fall. Queens, they try to respond to Banelings as well. It's going to be close. Can he get it? Up. He can. Oh my god. Does take down the expansion. Third base goes down. Banelings, they get some okay connections. Queen falls as well. Very nice valley here from Dark. From here, he just has to back off. Just has to back off. Oh! Banelings rolling in. I do waddle in. And one Baneling does get into the mineral line. Doesn't want to be wasted. Sealing's actually zoning on over, getting into the main. They're going for drone kills. Baneling pops off. Some of the workers do go down. 7 drone kills, 8 drone kills, and we're getting out of hand. This is getting out of hand. The third is full, and 12 worker kills in the main. There's still one Ling. Still one Ling left over. Finally cleaned up. Shin holds. Shin, he somewhat holds on, but Dark, he is up 10 workers. He has a third base. And now taking up into Roaches. Now, the Roach tech for Dark is a little bit later than that of Shin, definitely. But Dark has a better economy. Does have the better economy here. So despite that, he should still be able to maintain himself. Should still be looking good. Go. As Lings once again they move out, they get eyes on the would-be third. Roaches are ready for this though. This time Shin, he will hold, he will defend. As Shin is building up his Roach counts, we do see Dark embracing his own Roach production as well. Now, just like the previous time we saw this, there is an option. Ooh, Bane connects. There is an option to go into Mutas, into Spire Tech. True, that is an option. A risky one. See if Dark does embrace something like that, if he just goes for a standard setup. We'll see. As Dark is already making Roaches. Making Roaches, mainly goes off. Not the most efficient connection there from Dark. Still maintains his worker lead, going for a gateway explosion. Sorry, for an Overlord's explosion, as Dark is supply blocked. Supply blocked. Flare now on the way. And we're macroing. After a very chaotic start, from here we're macroing up. We're macroing up, we're droning, we're saturating our thirds. Getting everything up and running. Working towards +1 in range. And, I mean, this may be the game when now we can embrace a more standard setup here. I mean, getting there was unorthodox, 100%. The game itself was crazy. But now, like, settling into this kind of game state, we can now enter Roach versus Roach. We have permission. Oh, never mind. As Shin could embrace Roach v Roach, but no, he throws down a Spire instead, going to Mutas. Now, the last time we saw this, I mean, Dark was thinking a very similar, following a very similar path to tech into something a little bit different. But for now, he's just focusing on Roaches. Just purely focusing on Roaches. Nothing more. Shin attempting to take the gold. I mean, that will help him recover. True. Dark, of course, confirms. Going for his own drop Lord Harass. Potentially with Queens. So we get nervous here, diving into the main. Rotating over towards the natural. Rotate. Hydrogen on the way. I believe Dark just saw, yeah, he just saw the Spire. He knows what's going on. He has confirmed that Mutas are on the way, and his response is going to be with Lurker Tech into, I would imagine, Hydro Lurker Viper, kind of late game ZvZ. See if Dark gets there, or if we pop things off earlier on. So it's going to be a big chunk of Mutas. This is going to be, so far, 5 Mutas. That is enough to one-shot or to wreak havoc and deny vision, hunting all these Overlords. Likewise, can one-shot workers as well. But it's going to be the ideal. Behind this, you see Shin just committing into Roach production. Committed into Roaches. The Muta's not doing anything too fancy. Again, they're still just hunting down Overlords. They do find a Jobalord, though. Baliness is denied. Massive pickoff. Jesus, there were 4 Balings in that drop. Completely shut down. And now Shin is getting ready for his push. Oof, that's a lot of Roach Ravager. A lot of Roach Ravager. Likewise, Dark has a comparable Roach count, but less Ravagers, since it's just now morphing in. While Shitty does push forward. There's down the wows. Flying time. Does avoid the wows, diving on the main army. We're just taking a lot of hits. And you can see Dark just collapse on this. Go straight for the Ravagers. He's trying to. Attempts to, but so far the Ravagers are holding their own. Still holding their own. Here, backing up. Going for a Roach counterattack. Overseer does confirm. Big investment from it. Our Blues are a player here. Big investments. Shin pulling back. Building up his army. Even wielding some Queens over. Okay, sure. The Queens are coming. Can Dark hold? Peels up a couple Roaches, going for the middle line, gold base under fire. Dark did avoid his own gold. So Shin has a better economy. He dives in. He missed the dive. But Dark is going to outtrade. Plaza do somewhat help. They do help, but he just collapses on the army. He does focus on every single Roach. And Dark he overwhelms. Does overwhelm the army. Just going pure Roach. Have faith. Shuts down the Roaches, defends. Of course, he has the upgraded advantage. Plus 2 just now finishing up here for Shin. Real plus some carapace all the way from it. Dark instead. It's building up. And yeah, we are entering that Roach v Roach phase of the game. I mean, it started with something more chaotic, but we've gotten there. You want no lurker tech. Muta's trickling in. Cloud's not quite connecting. Nice start stepping here out of Dark. We'll be able to slightly out-trade. Does have Queens to reinforce. He can transfuse. Now that the Ravager army is overwhelming. Dark trying to get on top of the Ravagers. Alas, does at least clean up all of the Mutas. Bleeds out one of the Queens though, in the process. Still a very close fight. But Dark, he's up 20 workers at the same time. Roach is actually getting to the mineral line. And that's why. That's how Dark takes a worker lead. Roaches, they do come in for a backstab. They get 19 workers. GG gets called. The economy is crippled. And just like that, in one fell swoop, Dark takes a 3-1 lead. GG. Very impressive here that, of course, despite the aggression, we were able to embrace a bit of a longer game state. We're able to embrace it. As the next game is going to be on El Dorado, of course, as we did mention, it's going to be on El Dorado. But yeah, it was really impressive to get into eventually the Roach v Roach, despite how much damage Dark was doing with his initial Ling aggression. Then it went into Roach v Roach. Was very close between the two players, very close, very intense. But alas, as we saw, Dark was able to sneak past the main army, get into mineral lines with his Tunneling Claw Roaches, and end the game. End the game then and there. He crippled the economy. With that, Shin was overwhelmed. He just could not keep up with the trades as he was just running out of money, running out of resources. GG. GG well played. Dark, he was able to pull it off, pulled Shin apart. And now Dark needs one more game to become our champion. The champion of OlimoLeague for the month of November. Meanwhile, Shin, he has to fight back here and now. He's now on match point. Now on match point. Let's go. And I'm really excited to see how El Dorado plays out in the ZvZ. I mentioned before that 2-base Roach play is more viable on this map, 100%. I stand by that. We'll see if we embrace that. As spawning in the bottom right-hand corner. In the bottom right, we have the South Korean Zerg player for Gaiming Gladiators. It is Shin. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have the other South Korean Zerg player, the Blue Zerg, representing Talon Esports. One game away from becoming this month's OlimoLeague champion. It is Dark. As we have Shin, yep, going for a 15-15. There we go. The first sign, 15-15 opener out of Shin. What does that mean? That means late gas, because that's a cancel into a practice spawning pool, into a delayed gas. This screams a 2-base play. So as I mentioned before, now the reason why I did bring up the fact that El Dorado is a good map for 2-base Roach is because of the ramp. This ramp is a unique feature. It is a feature of this map and of Ultra Love as well, but because of the ramp, it means that you can wall off with the bare minimum, you can defend with the bare minimum, and you can get away with skipping Banelings. Now, this can go one of two ways, though. On the one hand, 15-15 screams 2-base Roach. It means that you're going to be skipping Link speed and going to Roach play. Now, 2-base Roach can technically become 2-base Muta. It could be like a fake out into 2-base Muta, could be a fake out into a Link Flood. There's definitely all-ins that you can try to mask and make look like 2-base play. But what I will say, this is kind of very similar to Amphion, where you can wall up on 2 bases, you can take her expansion, and then macro up by just mining through these patches and taking a third, while not really disrupting your wall. So, I mean, if Shin wants to open up defensively and then just go into a macro game, that is viable. It's very much so viable here on El Dorado. So I'm curious how Shin makes use of this 2-base play. Meanwhile, Dark, Hatchgas pull into a third. And Dark, he's mining through the patches, and he's going to be expanding at the 3rd base here towards the southern half of the map. more or less standard opener by Dark. So we are going to be settling in. The first big sign here that I'm going to be looking for from the side of SHIN is whether or not he does start Link Speed. Link Speed is something that can be skipped, especially if he does fully wall off. If he doesn't, then we could be seeing something like a Link Flood and an all-in. Overlook could be set away. Nice pick up here by SHIN. Gets a kill. Supply looks Dark. SHIN, he is not getting Link Speed, so that tells us that SHIN is not going for a Link Flood. Tells us that SHIN most likely is indeed building up and getting to his own. He's getting to his own tech path into Roaches, to maybe even something more. Meanwhile, Dark, for the most part, should be aware of what's happening, should confirm. See Dark amassing up Lings, and I don't really know how successful these things are going to be. They can maybe get us around the Queens, but I feel like more than anything, Dark is just relying here on his opponent to make mistakes. I'll skirt around the edge. True. I'll skirt around the edge. Make his way across the map. So are setting up. Here we go. Lings, they do hit the natural. So far, the wall is solid. There's a Queen. There's a secondary wall behind this. Lings, they knock down the Queen. Push further in. Going for the Roach Warren. Roach Warren's under fire. See Dark coming in quite hard, still making more Lings. Oh god, he's not stopping. He's not stopping. He's not slowing down. Takes down the Roach Warren and gets us around. Queen goes down as well. And where are the Spine Crawlers? No shot, no Spine Crawlers before SHIN can embrace 2-base Roach. The Queens are going down left and right. The Roach Warren went down. There's 4 Roaches in production. But Dark has done it. Before we can really embrace the longer game state, I was looking forward to the 2-base play, but no, we're not going to get it as every Roach gets surrounded. He busts into the main base mineral line drones. The boys are being pulled. Lings, they turn back around to clean up what's remaining here of the army. GG gets called, and Dark, he will be this month's OlimoLeague champion. GG. GG, well played. Dark, he will take it in the end. He will come out on top. Again, SHIN, he was preparing, he was setting up for a longer game state, but that didn't quite occur. Didn't quite occur here. He was trying to wall up, trying to get into 2-base play, but last Dark, he was able to overwhelm, was able to Link Flood, and I'm a little bit shocked myself that it worked, that he was able to break through all the Queens and end the game then and there. Alas, SHIN just needed a little bit more time, and if he had a little bit more time, he would have had more Queens and would have been able to defend and survive. Regardless, GG. GG, well played. Dark, he is our champion this month. A bit of an unlikely hero here. I mean, again, coming into this, my eyes were on Clem. My eyes were on Hero. My eyes were on these bigger names to have these deeper runs and deeper performances, but SHIN has been on the grind. SHIN, he has been on that grind set for quite some time. And alas, I mean, that now pays off here and now. I mean, SHIN, he was able to get into that finals here, into the final best of 7. Something that I'm definitely shocked by and impressed by. Didn't quite bring down Dark, but second place is no easy feat. No easy feat whatsoever. Just looking at cams here at those final moments. Actually, we can switch our scenes over and have a look ourselves at those final moments. See there. Again, Dark, he's rocking that man bun. But GG. GG. Again, I'm sure no hard feelings between our players. And on top of that, you can see here the performance of our players as well. With the bracket, oh my god, from the top. Again, SHIN, it was not easy. It was not an easy night for SHIN. He took down Zound 2-1, went to the ace match. He took down Hero 3-2, also went to the ace match. Again, there's a world out there where maybe Zound or Hero win their respective matches and advance on in the place of SHIN, but SHIN was the victor this month. Likewise, Dark, he 2-0'd Clem, 3-0'd Beyond. Dark, he was on fire tonight. He was playing like a beast, like an animal. And here in the ZvZ as well, I mean, link flooding and committing to the link flood and just not stopping. It was crazy. But Dark, he did drop a map. He did drop a map to SHIN, so SHIN is the only player to pose a threat and to make Dark bleed. But overall, Dark is our champion here this month. Congratulations. Congratulations. Again, a shout out to ZvZ, which is the Korean streaming platform that we are streaming on at the moment. So you can see their logo under the bracket, of course. If it wasn't for them, then this event will not be possible. They are hosting, or I should say that we are hosting, Cranky and his team, they are hosting OlimoLeague on a weekly basis, but at the end of the month, there's going to be a monthly finals as well. Basically, depending on the performances of players throughout the weeklies of the month, they will accumulate points, OlimoLeague points, and based on those points, they are invited and seeded into the monthly finals, into this bracket right here, right now. That is how these invites did occur, and how we have our champion. So yeah, look forward to more OlimoLeagues. The next OlimoLeague is going to be next week. Again, throughout the month of December, there's going to be more weeklies and of course a monthly finals as well. So plenty more StarCraft to come. When it comes to our next broadcast, and even I should also emphasize, when it comes to the VODs of this tournament, we will be able to upload VODs to YouTube. We are unable to stream this live on other platforms, so there's no stream on Twitch, there's no stream on any other platform here, only on ZvZ, and I will be hard at work to render as many VODs as I can as quickly as possible, and to very quickly set up and upload those VODs live to YouTube. So the VODs will be on YouTube over the next like 3 days. I want to say it should take around 3 days or so to upload everything and get everything going. That is going to be the plan. It'll help as well that we actually don't really have any casting for the next couple of days. I did forget actually, never mind. Our next cast is going to be in less than 24 hours. We're going to be live with OSC King of the Hill. OSC King of the Hill is going to be live here in less than 24 hours, and the day after that is going to be the Pond cast. Oh boy. Here we go. Here we go. So with that, GG, well played. Hope you all enjoyed yourselves. Hope you all had a great time. And we'll see you guys next time. We'll see you guys in the coming weeks here. I think the next OlimoLeague, let me just quickly double check, is going to be on the 3rd. The 3rd of December on Tuesday is going to be the next OlimoLeague, so tune into that. Likewise, the OlimoLeague after that is going to be the next week on Tuesday, and then the next week on the weekend, I want to say. On Friday. So Tuesday, Friday for OlimoLeague, then leading into the monthly finals. Otherwise, thank you for watching. Thank you for the support. You can also support us via, by following us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Discord. We do post whenever we go live. And again, VODs will be uploaded over on YouTube as well. So thank you so much. Oh boy, it was a long tournament. It was a long cast. Jesus. 5.5 hour cast. Let's go. And on top of that, we did cast earlier this morning, the Pigostorm Monday. I am very worn out. I'm very tired. I'm ready to embrace the bench and get some rest and get recuperated. I'll do what I can. I'll do what I can, papi. Aye. It's been a long day of casting now, and I do hope to sleep as much as I can. But also, I have to render everything as well, so I have to edit all the VODs. A lot of work to do. Regardless, thanks so much for watching. Thanks so much for tuning in. Hope you all had a great time. Hope you had a great evening, and we will see you tomorrow for OSC King of the Hill. Until then, hasta luego. Ciao, papi, ciao. Hasta luego. Thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. See you next time.